Welcome to NJPAC. I'm Steve Adubato. It is our honor to welcome. We had him over at WNET Studios over at Lincoln Center. It is an honor to have him here in Newark. Brandon Dirden, who is actor, director. We had him last time with us talking about All the Way, the extraordinary play with, what was the guy again?
Bryan Cranston. That's right, Bryan.
You played Dr. Martin Luther King in that very special play, but we're talking this time about Jitney. Right?
That's right.
Describe Jitney, which is going to be opening up real soon at the December 28th. This will be seen before that and after the Samuel Friedman Theater on 47th Street. Describe it.
So Jitney is one of the plays in the August Wilson Century Cycle. August wrote 10 plays to chronicle each decade of the African-American experience in the 20th century. And this one takes place in the 70s. It's actually the first play that he wrote. But it will now be the last to have its Broadway premiere. And it centers around a group of Jitney drivers, which is slang for cab drivers, in Pittsburgh, where 9 of the 10 plays are set. And the station faces some challenges, and the men inside the station face some challenges, but it's probably one of his funnier plays. There's a dynamic between a father and a son, husband and wife, lovers, customers. It sort of has everything in there.
August Wilson. Yeah. Matters because?
He's my hero. He's one of them.
Tell folks, explain.
Google
August Wilson as we're talking.
Yeah.
We'll watch the show and do it later, but go ahead.
Well, August, what he did for me, I started 11, 12 was my first August Wilson play. I was a boy. Wow. My first professional play is Joe Turner's Come and Gone. I played the youngest man that August ever wrote. And it set me on my path. It said that you have a voice in the American theater. And other playwrights did that for a lot of people. But he was the playwright that did that for me. He said that people who looked like me, who sounded like me, who shared my background, my stories, we belonged in the theater. And if you look at Joe Turner's Come and Gone, just that one play that I started with, it has this boy who's 11, 12, and it has a man who's 80, and it has men who are in their 20s and 30s and 50s. And so he said, you have work for the rest of your life. No matter how old you are, there will be a place for you in the American theater to tell your story. And he gave us 10 plays in which to...
Why did he do that? Why did he understand? How and why did he understand the importance of that?
Well,
How brilliant is that?
Yeah, he understood it. It was in his DNA. It's his fabric. He was a poet first in Pittsburgh, and he had a great friend, Claude Purdy, who was the director, who actually was the director of Joe Turner's Come and Gone that I did as a boy in Houston, Texas. And Claude encouraged him, says, man, you got to start writing plays. And so he got August to move up to Minneapolis and start with the Playwright Center there, and Penumbra Theater produced some of his first plays. And there was, at that time, there was a void. I mean, we had the Negro Ensemble Company, started by the great Douglas Turner Ward, that had a lot of traction and really birthed the careers of a lot of great stars, including Denzel and Sam Jackson and other people. But we, at that time, the August was starting out, there really was a void on the national scale. And August, he wanted to tackle, he wanted to take it by the horns, and he wrestled that void.
You know, as you're talking about this, I don't know why it comes to me, but we're here in Newark. Around the corner from Rutgers University in Newark, there's a powerful, important theater, Paul Robeson.
Yes.
Theater there. A lot goes on there. Paul Robeson, the name, the legacy. You know, here's my point. For a lot of us, we may not understand and appreciate the significance of what you're talking about right now. Having folks, not just role models, that word gets used a lot, but people who open doors, who create opportunities.
Yes.
That may have been there for others and are there for others that, you know.
Yeah, but it's also people who create opportunities while laying their own life on the line, literally, their livelihood. Paul Robeson was blackballed. I mean, he
destroyed his career.
Yeah, oh yeah. But he says, I won't compromise.
People say, well, you're a communist.
Yeah.
He said, well, I am who I am.
Yeah. They took away his passport.
Took away everything. Took away his livelihood.
Yeah. And, but the art that he created, yes, it showed the people that we are just as capable We are just as smart, we are just as talented as anyone walking this earth.
That matters to you.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
The Americans, real quick, set it up. You want to see a clip, or should we set it up? Because you play the role you play.
Agent Aderholt is the role I play in The Americans. And I think the clip that we're going to see is a memo that I've just discovered, which is a bureau-wide an agent from the FBI, and says, watch our language in our reports.
Yeah, the FBI, the culture of the FBI. Let's take a look. We'll keep talking.
You see this? I have been concerned by the language and some communications that have reached my desk, in particular, comments expressing that the FBI feels. The FBI may assess, determine, consider, or claim, etc., but it is not appropriate to say that the FBI feels.
So the FBI culture.
Yeah, that's right. Which at the time is, I mean, when you see the show, it's not too many people who look like me within the office and the culture. And so there is, I think it's particularly interesting that how specific the culture is in addressing every component. And I think it's, my character, Agent Aderholt, I love him. I love him dearly because I think he keenly understands the significance of being very careful in choosing your words correctly, as to not be perceived as something or that could be misconstrued.
So let me ask you something. You come from acting in your DNA.
Yeah.
Describe the family origins in acting.
My father, Willie Dirden, he had such a passion for acting, but not just acting, the craft of acting, the science of acting, the study of acting. He never was an actor for a profession. He had 5 kids growing up in Houston, Texas, and so it just made a little bit more challenging to provide for us all. So he found himself in communications and data processing, and but he loved it, and he did some community theater. He actually did an August Wilson play. He's done a few in his time. But when he saw that I had an interest in it, my younger brother Jason Dirden, who's also a well-known actor in the New York community and now LA, he says, okay, if you guys are going to do this, you're going to study.
Very supportive.
Oh, yeah. And I likened him to Richard Williams, Venus and Serena's dad. He was like that. Oh, yeah.
Hardcore supportive?
Oh, hardcore. Yeah. And not only supportive, but critical.
Yeah?
My father would come to a show today. He would watch an episode on TV, and he would call me up, and he would say, that was fine performance, son, but I think you had an opportunity here and here and here and here. Or he'll say, you know, this is what I really loved about what you did here and here and here.
Are you telling me in All the Way?
Oh, yeah.
When he's watching you, playing Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
He's got notes.
No.
Yeah.
Tell you what you could have done better, and as well as what you did well.
He has an immense pride. You know, my father, he saw the play All the Way first when we first did it in Boston.
Right.
And after that...
Before he came to Broadway.
Oh, yeah, before he came to Broadway. And after he watched it, he says, I got a book for you to read. And so he gave me a book, Why We Can't Wait. You know, it was basically Dr. King's memory of the Selma March. And he says, you got to read this before you go on with it. And what it helped me do was provide more of a sense of urgency to what we were trying to get accomplished in the play. And so by the time we got to New York in the Broadway run, then I was now armed with this thing. Yeah. Understanding
that walking across the Pettus Bridge mattered, didn't it? Real quick, your wife?
Crystal Dickinson.
She give you notes too? Come on,
constantly.
No. She's an actress.
Yeah, she is. So she actually probably gives the most qualified notes because she knows exactly what I'm going through, and she knows exactly when I'm BSing, and she knows exactly when I'm telling the truth.
Do you do the same thing with each other?
We try to, yeah.
And you have a child? 3?
We do. We have a son. He's 2.5. I don't know, Steve. I think the bug got him early on.
Chase is your little?
Chase, yeah.
You think he's got it too? You see it.
I think so.
You see it. You can't stop it.
You know,
he's not going to be a computer programmer.
Well, he could if he wanted to be. But I tell you what, if he chooses to become an actor, he probably will be the best of us all. That's the truth.
You see a gift.
Yeah. Yeah.
You mind if I plug again? Tell everybody that Jitney is going to previews begin December 28th at the Samuel Friedman Theater on 261.
That's right.
West 47th Street, and also The Americans
on FX Network, and I think we'll probably premiere March, I believe, season 5. We got 2 more seasons.
Get down to it. Get down.
Oh, The Get Down, Netflix,
quick.
yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Baz Luhrmann. It's crazy. It's about the origin of hip-hop in the late 70s, Bronx, downfall of disco era, and it is amazing. It's unlike anything you've ever seen.
You're amazing, too.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate it.
Again and again.
Great stuff. Stay with us. Be right back. Right. You are terrific. By the way, real quick before I let you go, the passion for acting.
Yeah.
This is what you were meant to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Had to do this.
You know what? I've tried. I was a chemical engineer at first. I went to college at Morehouse College, studied chemical engineering, worked at Shell Oil Company every summer, and I said, if you only live once, you got to do what you love to do, and I didn't love it.
Shell's loss is our gain. Thanks. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thank you.
The preceding program has been a production of the CAUCUS Educational Corporation and the New Jersey Performing Arts Center in association with NJTV and WNET. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato at NJPAC has been provided by TD Bank, Prudential Financial's Global Communications Department, NJIT, Josh S. Weston, the Fidelco Group, RWJ Barnabas Health, and by Verizon. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.